Hopefully Battlefront 2 single player would be absolutely superb. I'm very excited about it. Hopefully they do a good job on it. And you get to play as the bad guys. You don't get to do that often. Yes, I get to play as a fully fledged story, as a fully fledged Imperial.
You've done a lot of damage to this alliance.
Hell yes.
Yes, we have, ma'am. And there's no excuse.
Yes, there is. There's a war.
Watching you fight today, it's clear you're not just running from the Empire. This means something to you.
It does. We've been fighting our whole lives. It's taken us too long to realize that we were fighting for the wrong side.
No, that's it. I'm done. I'm done. Screw you, game. Screw you. I'm just kidding. I bought this damn game. I'm going to play it to the end. Hello everyone, I am here to moan again. You know, ever since The Force Awakens came out, Star Wars has been more of a disappointment than anything for me to really get excited about. If it wasn't for Rogue One, I would have lost all hope by now. I don't enjoy moaning about this. I love Star Wars. It's pretty much my life. I really want it to be good, and dear God, I hope Last Jedi is good, because if it's anything like Force Awakens, I'm not going to be pleased. But today I'm not complaining about The Force Awakens, which a lot of people really did not like me for. Today I'm complaining about this. So I know lots of people already complaining about this game, and you're probably sick of hearing about it, but I say no! Because as soon as we get complacent and as soon as we start getting bored of making an argument, the shoddy business practices that we hate in this game are going to just become a staple, because they're going to wait for us to get bored and then just keep rolling them out, because it's money making and this is what companies want to do. So keep the pressure up on these stupid loot boxes and all these microtransactions in a game that is actually really damn expensive to buy. And I know there's a portion of my audience that has no idea about stuff like this because they're not really gamers, so quick explanation. Loot boxes. In the context of this game, every day you get a daily crate. In that crate there is a random assortment of items. You don't know what you're going to get in there, so every day you open a crate and you get certain things in there. And these crates have things like different star cards to use on multiplayer, different abilities or multiplayer classes, credits, stuff you can craft your own parts with. I think maybe weapons in there as well, but I don't really look into the loot boxes because I freaking hate them. You get some for completing certain missions in the game as well as certain multiplayer stuff, but you know, you can buy them as well for real money. The loot boxes are specifically designed to give people an edge over other people in the multiplayer, and designed in a way, you know, they're random, you don't know what you're going to get, so you want to get that ability that other person has because they're dominating you in the multiplayer. Okay, you can just play through it day after day after day and hope your daily crate has it, or you can pay them real money and get as many crates as you want, just for the possibility of getting this one thing. It's gambling, and you don't even get anything physical out of it, like, you know, actual money. Gambling is for chumps, don't do it. And you've got your thing, like you've got your premium currency, which is a currency you pay real money for to unlock stuff in the game, and the in-game currency. Again, they do it so the things you unlock with the in-game currency take forever. Well, they used to at the time the game released, before they started patching things out because people were really not happy with EA. It would take you 40 hours of multiplayer gameplay just to unlock Darth Vader. One character. 40 hours. Oh, but we don't want to, you know, we want to give players a feeling of, you know, satisfaction and accomplishment. And I've seen a few people I'm friends with going, well, yeah, but it's making you earn it. It's a good thing. No, 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 no. You unlock Darth Vader so you can play him as a hero in your multiplayer battles. To play heroes in multiplayer battles, when you're playing multiplayer, you need to rack up points within the game to unlock them. And then there's no guarantee you're going to be able to play as them, because if someone gets that amount of points before you do, and they use that character, then they're going to be playing as said hero. That character slot is full. You can't do that. So you're paying to unlock an unlock. But they have now addressed the situation slightly. It's still not that great. You still have to unlock a bunch of main characters that, you know, it's not even that satisfying to do. There's not really much of a point. If you want a Star Wars game where the unlocks are satisfying, you get addicted, you want to go through and unlock everything you can, play this. This is good. This has got good unlocks in it. This thing is addictive. This thing actually gives you something for your effort. If they really wanted to do the thing of doing, you know, crappy unlocks that you could try and persuade people to buy with real money or grind for, What about the customization options? I'm not saying you should put that in there as a horrible grind, but what about those? Again, their response to that is, well, that'd be silly, you know, we don't want like pink Darth Vaders running about because that's not canon. I like the fact they're worried about canon in a game where you can literally have Rey fight Darth Maul on Naboo. And you're thinking, okay, yeah, so the canon, they're thinking, not just, you know, they're not thinking about, you know, characters that find each other, they're just thinking about the image of a certain character, not change that particular character's image to something that isn't in canon. But you got so many more options of in-canon stuff that you can do with that. Many different factions of clone troopers and stormtroopers. The rebels have different costumes on pretty much every mission that they do in the films. Yes, you cannot give Darth Vader a bright pink costume. But you know what you could do? Battle damage Vader. Rebels version of Vader. Darth Maul with his wicked cyborg legs. And also, if they were really that worried about canon, they would not have let you play as a stormtrooper with the helmet off in the last Battlefront, which I was gonna go take footage for off the PlayStation, and they've patched that out. You can't do that anymore. Well, not as I can find. You have to have your helmet on as a stormtrooper now, or you can change is the colour of your pauldron. But that's just stuff that the people in the gaming community already know about. I'm just giving my 2 cents to those who don't know. This is the real reason that I'm here today. Star Wars Battlefront 2 was marketed as having a single-player campaign that was a canon story. So, you know, it's essential to the Star Wars lore, and this story was going to be told from Iden Versio's point of view. This character is Imperial Special Forces, part of a squad called Inferno Squad. The story takes place after the destruction of the second Death Star on Endor, and follows them through all the way to the Battle of Jakku. You're a dirty little liar. The first couple of missions, your battle-hardened Iden Versio, Special Forces Stormtrooper Commander, is giving it to the rebels and kicking ass and being awesome, and I was like, yes!
Droid, disable them!
Go, go, go!
Agent Hask, I'm in position.
Understood, Commander. Prepare for extraction. 3, 2, 1.
Yes, woo! See, this is why the Empire is so much bigger. Hell yeah. We're gonna land in the ship. And then like 3 missions in, you defect to the Rebellion and play the rest of the game as the Rebellion. We very rarely get a game where you get to play as the bad guys. The only one that comes off the top of my head that the whole story is you are the bad guys is TIE Fighter. Now that is an old game. A lot of the games you either play as the good guys all the way through, or you're turning from bad to good. A recent example of that would be Force Unleashed, when you're playing a Starkiller, you go from Vader's apprentice to actually setting up the rebellion. That story's not canon anymore, but still it's an example. So while I'm enjoying the multiplayer of this game without doing all the really crappy loot boxes and microtransactions because I hate them, the single player was such a disappointment, and I'm so annoyed that I keep having to say the stuff that's coming out at the moment for Star Wars is a disappointment. Force Awakens, first Battlefront, and second Battlefront. Rebels and Rogue One are good, thank Christ. Maybe it wouldn't be so bad if they gave more time for the character to sort of transition across. If you're gonna have to do this story from bad to good, give more time. But the story, the way it's done, does not fit with the character we are given. As I said, you play as an Imperial Special Forces commander, someone who is dedicated and has been serving the Empire for a long time and would have seen a lot of bad stuff on both sides of the war. Judging from dialogue in the end game, where Kylo is in Del's mind and says, "This is where you began," and he's on the planet Scarif, we can assume that, you know, at least one of the members of Inferno Squad have been around since Scarif, even not as Special Forces and just like as recruits, so they would have been around at the time of the first Death Star. So you think in the earlier days of the Empire, where they might be more susceptible to thinking, okay, maybe certain things are right and certain things are wrong, did the destruction of Alderaan not ring any alarm bells in your head? In the story, we go from badass Imperial to Rebel in literally the space of one mission, where Operation Cinder is in effect. There's big satellites in space and they're firing down lasers on a planet nowhere near as powerful as the Death Star, but as you can imagine, civilians are getting hurt in this. This is the point where Iden decides she wants to change allegiance, seeing that, you know, the Empire's citizens are just essentially being thrown aside. Something that I'm pretty sure, being Special Forces, you would have seen many times before. The fact she is shocked by this is just, it's weird to me and just kind of doesn't fit.
Admiral Versio. Commander Versio and Agent Miko have abandoned the mission. They've committed treason.
No, you can also complete your mission, Versio.
Return Gleb to me. That is your mission. I will take care of the traitors.
No, we can do both. Bloody hell, why am I now a traitor?
In a previous mission, you're flying around through the blown up debris of the second Death Star, just above the planet Endor to get back to your ship. Iden even says herself, right now this has happened, the Empire is going to have to adapt or die.
Hard to believe this is all that's left.
Oh, this is my Death Star.
Someone told me once that rebellions are built on hate. I never stopped believing it.
How are we supposed to fight that?
The Empire will change, just like it did when they destroyed the first Death Star. We adapt or die.
Operation Cinder is the Empire adapting. The way the Empire adapt, if they're fighting a losing battle, they hit back hard with fear and extreme force. That was the whole point of the Death Star. That's why they were going to build a second one that was more powerful than the first one. This is how the Empire retaliates. They make people scared of them to stop more uprising happening. This shouldn't be a surprise for Special Forces. Also in the campaign, we're introduced to Iden's father. He is an admiral in the Imperial fleet. We can probably assume he's been an admiral for quite a long duration of the Empire's reign, so Iden would have been brought up with Imperial values. The way this character is presented to us, you would think this person is hardcore Imperial and would be more like Cass, but nope, it just takes one mission and off she goes. Goodbye Empire, joining the rebels now. Joining the rebels. Fight the good fight, ta-ra. Bye-bye now. But you're thinking, okay, this is just a game plot, you know, you're taking this too seriously, even though it was advertised as something that is definitely canon to the lore, and this is definitely from the Imperials, and it's just a bog standard Star Wars story, which is a bit lackluster and actually quite short. But with a disappointment, that was the last Battlefront. EA and DICE like, okay, we need to improve, so we're going to give them a single player campaign, but we want it to be more accessible to everyone and make people connect with the main character, because that's what it's about. You're playing as this character, you want to connect with them, feel like you are this person. Problem is, we want to go down the villain route, but not everyone's going to connect to the villain because we're all good, lovely people at heart. But there are ways that have been done before where you can connect to a bad guy, make them seem more human, and not have them turn their back on their cause. For those who own the complete saga on Blu-ray that was released back in 2011, go look at the extras disc for the original trilogy and look at the deleted scenes from Return of the Jedi. If you don't have it, you can look it up on YouTube. So Moff Gideon is the commander in charge of the second Death Star. During the Battle of Endor, he's in the control room of the Death Star and the Emperor gets in contact with him. The Emperor tells him if the rebels are successfully able to destroy the shield bunker, then he is to fire on Endor and destroy it. Here's the good bit. He has a human moment of emotion. He questions the order, saying, but our troops are down there, you know, we got a whole legion of Imperial soldiers down on Endor. And the Emperor's like, no, you will destroy it. He accepts the order and he's waiting for that call saying the rebels have got there, which means he's going to have to destroy both rebels and Imperial alike. And you can see he is torn by this. But in the end he decides to do it for the good of the Empire. He's sacrificing an entire legion of Imperial soldiers, and it's not an easy choice. You can see the rest of the officers in the control room looking at him like, what are we going to do? He gives the order to fire, but it's a little bit too late. That's when the Death Star explodes. When I was watching this, I actually felt something for him, like, oh yeah, this is actually showing a little bit more of a human side of the Empire, not just that they're cold-hearted bad guys. But that's a way you can do it without making them turn. They're not worried about, oh, I'm just going to be killing a load of rebels and indigenous species that's on the planet. They're worried about their troops. They're worried about the Empire. They've just destroyed a bunch of your friends on Endor. You should be mad. And that should give you the in to connect with the character. It really, really sucks though, because Inferno Squad, I absolutely love their character design. It's like a Special Forces kind of TIE fighter pilot. It's something that I thought, yes, if I really get on with Iden Versio, this is definitely a costume I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do a full Iden Versio suit. I'm gonna make my own little droid that can hover behind me. It's gonna be epic. It's just also nice that we're getting more female characters, especially with the Empire, and that this is now a canon character, which is awesome. But they just massively screwed up the character development. Almost Amazing Spider-Man 2 levels of, you know, I love you, Spider-Man, to I'm going to kill you, Spider-Man. Like, literally just turn on a dime. In the mission where you're branded a traitor and you have to turn against the Empire, you have to run through this entire city where all the stormtroopers are on you. I was trying to roleplay at this point thinking, okay, the Empire's done something I don't agree with, well, my character doesn't agree with it, okay, I'm going to accept this and think, okay, what would this character do? What the game wants you to do is run through the level mowing down as many Imperials as physically possible. And I thought, no, I'm not going to do that. This character is Imperial. She's not going to suddenly turn and just start killing all her brethren for something that, you know, Operation Cinder was an order from the Emperor himself, not little Dave, the stormtrooper sitting over there. So I snuck through the level, well, most of it that I could sneak through, and there was even a little line of dialogue from your companion Dell at this point going, oh, you let them go past. Like, yes, no, I'm not just going to start slaughtering the entire Imperial army as soon as I see them now.
I'm going to avoid shooting my own men, I will. Ah! Damn it, now you guys can aim.
Letting them pass unharmed. That was gracious.
We don't need to kill everyone we see. Come on.
Yay, that was a natural choice. I didn't kill any of my men. I'm not going to kill any of my men. I'm not going to kill you. Not going to kill you. Not going to kill you. Oh, not going to kill you. Oh, tits. Oh, if I run around in circles, they might not get me.
Stay quiet and they won't see us coming.
Understood.
Whoa.
Wait for my mark.
Given that line of dialogue, I thought throughout this mission it was going to be an option whether you just go full turncoat and just blast Imperials, or whether you can get through it just causing as minimal damage as possible. No, it only allows you to not kill Imperials until halfway through that mission when you have to get in an AT-AT, and if you don't kill all the Imperials that are shooting at you, your AT-AT's life goes down really quickly and you blow up. So you got no choice. Now you really are an enemy of the Empire because you've just blown up like an entire squadron of troopers. Trust me, EA, when I say there is an audience for bad guys. Are you forgetting? One of the largest fan clubs in the world of Star Wars, the 501st Legion, they're all about people who dress as bad guys. They've been going for 20 years, have thousands and thousands of members across the world. They like bad guys. There's an audience for this. Trust me. But now, given that Disney is looking into EA after the horrendous backlash that they've had, and well deserved, it does make me wonder, are we going to see stories that follow the bad guys anytime soon? Before Disney acquired Lucasfilm and Star Wars, LucasArts was working on 2 games that would have thrown you in the shoes of a couple of bad guys. Star Wars 1313, where you take on, you know, the story of Boba Fett, and a Darth Maul video game. Wicked. Everybody wants those. People still want them. There is an audience for this. But now that this game has been advertised as being a bad guy game, and people who don't look into it don't know the story, maybe other game publishers, because they don't really look into it, they just look into the money kind of side of things and see, oh, this isn't doing well, are we gonna see a video game with a really cool bad guy storyline, especially that's gonna be canon? I don't know, but I really hope so. I hope they don't let EA's stupidity get in the way of giving us a really cool story, especially for people like me who I adore the Empire. And you know, I just want one game out of hundreds where I get to play as the bad guy rather than playing as the good guy. So what are your guys' thoughts? Stick them down below. Do you agree with me on any of this? I just don't understand why we can't have more bad guy games, why it has to be good guy games. I know that's what the movies focus on, you know, the light triumphing over the dark, but it would have been so amazing, especially on the last mission when you were in the Battle of Jakku, fighting as the Empire. You're fighting the losing side, and you're going to try and push, and it's futile, but you know you've got to do it, you're going to go down with the fight. They could have done something amazing and like really emotional and awesome with that, but no, they didn't. The last boss of the game is Haskin a TIE fighter, which is really boring, and then your dad, who's been chasing you down and been trying to kill you, you appear on his Star Destroyer and like, hey, come with me, and he's like, no, I must go down with my ship, and then it was really unsatisfying, and then you jump forward to the First Order period, and then the game suddenly cuts and goes, the rest of the game will continue in DLC, which is coming probably in the next, I think, looking at my calendar, it's coming tomorrow. Again, that sucks. Hope that's free. I think that's free. That better be free. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. And as always, may the Force be with you. No Last Jedi spoilers. I will hunt you down.